Welcome to the program Insight Education, a TV program designed to enlighten the general public on the policies, activities, and progress of the Delta State Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education in its bid to provide a quality education for the good children of the state. It promises to be a delight. My name is Rita Ubuaja. It will offer insight into the workings of the ministry so that you will appreciate efforts the present government is putting in place to ensure we have a solid foundation of education in the state. It will play host to current news of happenings in the ministry, hold developmental strides and discussion sessions with pupils, students, their parents, teachers and other stakeholders in the state. Edition. The camera lens is on the School Sports Festival in Delta State and the sporting competition. Stay with us.
Sports and sporting competitions have systematically become global phenomena, from serving as a means of physical exercise to enhance the health of the human body. Sports have grown to become a veritable means of leisure, pleasure, reinforcement of communal unity, dispute resolution, crisis management, and advert promotion and sundry awareness campaigns. Indeed, sports have become a big business and enviable profession. In Nigeria, after the Civil War, the government of Nigeria instituted a national sports festival as a cardinal program to achieve the principal objectives of reconciliation, reintegration and reconstruction. Since 1973, Nigeria has biannually held the National Sports Festival to enhance national unity and integration, especially among the younger generation of Nigerians. Since that time, during 1983, 1987, 1993 and 1995, the festival has held 17 times in different states of the Federation. Besides the discovery of prolific talents who have competed on the highest stages for the nation, the National Sports Festival has continued to foster unity and greater integration of the many ethnic nationalities in the nation. Some athletes of one state of origin have had to compete for other states without let of hindrance. Delta State has produced some world-class athletes that have gone on to represent the country at the highest levels. We have the likes of Blessing Okagbare, who is an Olympic and World Championship medalist. She also happens to be a Commonwealth record holder. Toyo Mayoko, who has been dubbed the African Queen of Scrabble, and also Jegere Wellington, who is well known for Scrabble. As the years went by and governments realized the importance of sports, sporting activities and competitions have become parts of the curriculum in schools. Apart from sports being offered as subject or course in schools, we now have sports competitions across the board in schools. There is also the school's sports competition, and at the individual secondary or primary school, there is the inter-house sports competitions. All these stem from the adage that all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. And if Jack is a student, the adage will definitely read, all study and no sports make Jack a dull student. Against this background, it is most commendable that the government of Senator Ifeanyi Okowa reckoned that schools sports had in the past helped to discover and develop abundant sports talents of the state origin, who represented the nation and even excelled globally. In the same vein, Mr. Christopher Anazia gave an appraisal of the state sports competition.
The history of sports festival, that is a Delta State Sports Festival, began in 1998. So what we see, the essence of sports festival in Delta State is to ensure that there is unity between, or to promote unity between the various local governments. It also helps to discover hidden talents that can be groomed to limelight. So the festival has really helped the state in bringing the youth together. The sports festival, or the sports, has fared generally well under the administration of the current governor. You know, in the country, how do you measure success in sports? You measure success, that's the number of competition, both national and international competition that a state is able to participate. And everywhere normally do evaluation, and Delta State have fared reasonably well. Recently, we had a zonal elimination for T-Sports in Asaba here, and out of 19 slots that is available, Delta State got 17 slots. So we are preparing, and we want to go to that festival, and hopefully, God being on our side, and with the prayers from all day towns, we will fare reasonably well.
Besides, it was one of the secrets behind the dominance of Delta State on the national sports platforms. This year's edition of Schools Sports Competition has been scheduled to hold from Sunday, March 8th to Thursday, March 12, 2020. In furtherance of the above, the State Commissioner for Basic and Secondary Education, Chief Patrick Oka, briefed the press to spell out the modalities and the importance government attached to the competition.
School Sports Festival is not the state's sports festival. It's for schools. We will try as much as possible as a student's game to make it have a lot of excitement that is expected in kiddies event. So I want us all to bear this in mind when we break into our various committees. And like I said, we don't expect that government is going to do everything alone. So I'm going to be very cost conscious. You finish your event, you go back. Except the teams that are going to be needed to be at the final event. So it's expected that all the ball games will end before the final day of the event. And we're going to have a multiple centers for presentation of medals or the ceremonies. So most of those events that are going to take place in different venues, we will arrange their own ceremonies, and make it look exciting. Those people who are working in the ministry here in the schools department have started going around. We have identified places, and we'll do some little jobs to make those places ready before now. So by the time the accommodation committee comes, they will take up from where they stopped. So I hope that with the experience that people will have in the past, that will be set to give a very exciting, entertaining, and in fact befitting school sports festival. The idea mainly is that we must be able to use these events to excite the children, to motivate the children, to make them see sports as part of education. If we lose that, then we've lost everything. At the same time, machinery, people moving from one school to another for the purpose of this will equally not be entertained. So I want to believe that those who are in charge of accreditation, your work starts now, because we have done admission. We have moved from admission to school monitoring. So we must be able to have the genuine thing. We are not sports council. Sports council, we use the talents coming from the school. So our duty is to motivate our athletes and make them see the importance of sports and education. And it's not just placed on winning only. It's also placed on participation. So if people come to win at all costs, they would have lost the essence of the competition. So we must rule out win at cost.
The zonal trials have been tentatively fixed for Monday, 10th February to Tuesday, 18th February 2020. The trials are meant to select the athletes that will effectively compete at the state level and finals of the school sports fiesta.
We have already made out the timetable. First, the school registration and indication of events of interest that should have been concluded by now. Then submission of local government representative lists from Monday 3rd to Wednesday 5th of February. Zonal finals 10th to Tuesday 18th of February. We expect to have our state finals from 8th to the 12th. We have put this timetable this way because this National Sports Festival is coming up, and the National Sports Festival will be coming out on by 20th of March to 1st of April. So it will not make any sense if we are holding our festival after the national festival has been held. Normally, once we hold the Olympics, the sporting year ends and start again. So our national festival must be the last thing to happen. So we need to see how we deliver this before the national festival, so that we'll be part of it.
For effective participation and efficient logistics, 5 centers have been mapped out for the finals of the sports competition. They are the Stephen Kershaw Stadium, Asaba, the Warri Township Stadium, Sapele Township Stadium, the Ugele Township Stadium, and the Ozoro Polytechnic Stadium.
The proposed venues for the zonal trials: Stephen Kershaw Stadium, Asaba, Uyeli Township Stadium, Uyeli, Warri Township Stadium, Sapla Township Stadium, and Ozoro Township Stadium. Ozoro Polytechnic, okay. The breakdown of the zones. We have Zone A, Aniocha North, Oshimili North, and Oshimili South. Zone B, Aniocha South, Eka North East, and Eka South. Okbe, Uwe, Warri South, Warri Stadium. Bumadi Patani.
Commissioner Patrick Uka also emphasized on the professionalism of the school sports competition, which will help to select athletes that will represent them at the state level.
The events that will take part in the festival. We have track and field, 100 meters, 200 meters, 400 meters, 800 meters, 1,500, 3,000, 5,000. 110 meters hurdles, 4 by 100 relay, 4 by 400 relay, long jump, high jump, triple jump, discus, javelin, and shot put. Other sports: badminton, chess, Scrabble, table tennis, tennis, basketball, volleyball, handball, hockey, and cricket. We are expecting a total number of 816 athletes to participate in the track and field, while we have about 378 to participate in the other team sports. With that, please, if I mention your name, you just stand. That's the members of the committee. Honorable Commissioner for Basic and Secondary Education, Chairman. And if you are representing somebody, you can stand. Mr. SEO Delteke, Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education. Chairman, Delta State Sports Commission. SA to HC, Basic and Secondary Education. SA to HE on school sports. Director schools. Assistant Director schools. Media aid to HC, Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education. CEO school sports. PEO school sports. With this committee is hereby inaugurated to the glory of God. Amen. Please sit down.
The special advisor to the commissioner, Mr. Felix, spoke on the importance for the sports meets and its effectiveness in youth development in the state.
One of the cardinal principles of school development, as agreed during the Education Summit, you will recall that this administration, within 5 months of coming on board, called an Education Summit. Sports was identified as one of the key pillars of things that needs to be revived in our schools. Sports includes every type of sports. Sports provide an avenue for competitiveness, an avenue for people to spend their leisure time, an avenue to keep them busy apart from academics. So we're reactivating the old school sports festival in Delta State. In the old Bende State, of which we are part, it used to be a big thing. We have also revived inter-house sports. In fact, every Thursday in Delta State is a sports day. Students go out to do sports. Apart from encouraging competitiveness, it's also good for their health and well-being. So the School Sports Festival 2020 has kicked off. The launching was done today by the Honorable Commissioner for Basic and Secondary. And all schools will participate. They will start with the local government competition, and they will go into zonal competition in Warri, Uyeli, Saple, Ozoro, and Asaba, and Ogwashugu, and Agbo. Those are centers where the school festivals will be on. It will be on for the next 4 weeks, and the finals will be done in Asaba. It's a time out for the students to exhibit their sports talents, and you know that this is a breeding ground for future athletes and future sportsmen and women, for which Delta State is known for. We hope and pray that from this school festival, talents will be discovered who will now hand over to the Sports Commission to train, to become representative of Delta State in national sports festivals. And some clubs, football clubs, will come and take some of them. Some of them may become future champions. Delta State have been known to be a great supplier of sportsmen and women. And most of them are talents that we nurture at the school sports level, and they grow to become great sports ambassadors of this country.
While people are numerous in commending the Okowa administration for reinstating the school sports competition, it is hoped that the competing schools, and especially the officials, will be professional in their disposition to the sports meets to ensure that the best of talents will emerge victorious. That will be necessary to guarantee that the best athletes are selected to not just represent the state, were to strive to retain Delta's #1 position in sports in the nation at the Edo-hosted National Sports Fiesta.
Welcome back. No doubt, sports activities is a tool for unity and progress in the state. So stay tuned as we will update you with more sports and activities. It is on this note we conclude this exciting episode on the program Insight Education. Until next week, when we will bring you another exciting episode, Rita Obuaja is my name. Bye for now.